Good morning. Day 3 in San Diego. Having a wonderful time at the Kofuzi non-elite training camp. Ran 20 miles on Monday, 9 miles through the hills yesterday. Today, going for a little bit of a recovery run this morning. We're going to ask the question, who makes the best $250 recovery shoe? So a couple of days ago, I posted a video about my 100-mile review of the Asics Metaride, calling it essentially a really expensive $250 recovery shoe. And when I posted the first video about it, and after this one you guys have been commenting, well, shouldn't we be spending $250 on a recovery shoe if we're going to spend $250 on anything? Because it's one thing to spend a lot of money on a race shoe that you use a handful of times a year and just doesn't have the durability of a regular shoe. Shouldn't we be spending it on our recovery so we can stay injury free? Shouldn't we be spending it on those long, slow distance runs so that we can hit our training paces? And then for those racing shoes, like for example, a lot of Nike's older generation racing shoes you can get for $110, it's even as low as $90 these days, like the Zoom Streak 7, the Zoom Streak LT4. Those are really cheap. The Adios Adizero 4 is also like $140. So shouldn't we be spending a lot of money on recovery in our long slow distance runs? So I thought, you know what? I know that a lot of people are running in the Vaporfly as daily trainers just because the cushioning is so great. And for people that have bad knees or whatever ailments, the Zoom X cushion has been really good for them for those recovery runs and those long slow distance runs. So today, while I'm out in San Diego, I only brought 2 pairs of shoes with me, the Adios 4 and the Vaporfly. So while I wanted to get in some recovery miles today, I thought today would be a good time to test out that theory. So in terms of the similarities between the two shoes, both have a rocker design, both use proprietary foams in order to cushion a soft landing in the heel area, and both are $250. In terms of the differences though, the Vaporfly is using Zoom X, which is some of the softest material that I've ever run on, in combination with a carbon fiber plate, whereas the Metaride is using dual layer flight foam with Asics gel to achieve kind of the same result in terms of cushioning that crash zone, which is in the back heel, where you might be hitting a little bit more often if you are running a little bit more heel toe or at a slower pace. And then of course there's other differences in the upper design. The Asics has the meta clutch system to lock your heel in. The Vaporfly has pretty much no heel support, no lockdown at all. Both have really high stack heights, and because there's no lockdown in the Vaporfly, people have a hard time with it stability wise. But I think ultimately, for me, if I'm going to spend $250 on a shoe and use it for recovery, I think I'd probably prefer the Vaporfly. It's softer for me in terms of if you're doing heel toe striking, and it's a lighter shoe, so if you are going to be using it to extend that weekly mileage base, if you're using it to try and run longer runs, even if at a slower pace, just to part of that marathon build-up phase, I think the Vaporfly is a better choice. Not that I'm recommending the Vaporfly for it, but if we're comparing $250 shoes, I think the Vaporfly wins. So I think then that the only real problem that I'd have with using the Vaporfly in the same way that you're using the Asics Metaride is that I don't think the Vaporfly is going to have the longevity that the Metaride will. That thing's built like a tank, and I think it's going to last forever. I got 100 miles on it, and it hardly looks like it's even been used. But the other thing is, it's going to be harder in the Vaporfly to actually run recovery paces. Today I'm trying to run a little bit slower, but I've been averaging, I think, about 9-minute miles. So it's a little bit faster than I'd like for a recovery pace, but I'm feeling good. Legs are feeling real good. And especially considering how many miles I've been running and how many hills I've been going over, which is not something that I'm used to. I've been very happy with how my legs are feeling, both running in the Adidas Adios 4 and the Vaporfly for this week. Alright, just finished the run. 8.34 miles, 9 minutes, 11 seconds on the reach per mile. Feeling pretty good. As far as recovery shoes go, the Vaporfly are okay. I feel like my right arch, which I think I have a little bit of a high arch, is feeling a little bit of fatigue, and both my ankles are a little bit sore today. I don't know if that's from running slower in the Vaporfly or from the beating they took yesterday. I'm not sure, but just letting you know what I'm feeling so far. But overall, if you're going to spend $250 on a recovery shoe, and that's what you're using it for, neither one, I think, is a great option for a recovery shoe at the price. So, I guess it's a tie.